Bad, bad, not good.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano, the internet's baddest music nerd, right here. Gonna do a review of the new Bad Bad Not Good LP. A lot of you may have seen that today this YouTube channel is featured on the front page of YouTube.com. And maybe y'all are wondering, maybe y'all are speculating, ain't nothing changing around here. Just gonna write a reminder that everything's gonna stay the same. I'm even gonna put this reminder in a bag where I keep very important reminders. Right here. These guys are a Canadian jazz trio. This is their self-titled, self-released album. And to simply call them just jazz is a little bit of a lie. This is not the bebop that you remember from the 1950s. And these guys don't want it to be. There's a funny quote at the end of this album, I think. It's the drummer talking. His name is Alex, and it starts off with a question. It says, "Alex, what do you think of Giant Steps?" And Alex says something to the note of, "It's 50 years old, it sounds like crap, write a new song." I know those are harsh words for a beloved standard, but I think musicians on some level have to kind of have that attitude, or else they're not going to propel themselves past what influences them. It's important to have influences and understand where things were to understand where things are, but what's the point of rehashing the same ideas the same exact way again and again and again? Another example for me is in punk music. Classic punk music. I mean, I'm a huge punk fan, but if you told me that for the rest of my life I would never hear the songs Blitzkrieg Bop, Anarchy in the UK, or I'm So Bored with the USA again, I think I'd be okay with that. And it's because I want to hear something new, you know? It's like I've heard those tracks so many times. It's like I know them like the back of my hand. Bad Bad Not Good has the same attitude about jazz. And it's not like jazz has stopped or anything like that. There is new jazz music out there that's pretty good. But the thing is, a lot of jazz these days is now kind of being marketed to and tailored for an adult contemporary audience. The jazz listener base is not as young as it used to be. Bands like Bad Bad Not Good, I think, could change that up. This is jazz infused with electronics, infused with hip-hop music as well. It's not that new of a sound or a concept because hip-hop, in a lot of ways, has always reflected a jazz influence. A Tribe Called Quest, J Dilla, Diggable Planets, DJ Premier, Madlib, The Roots, Kid Koala, the Beastie Boys too. The list of hip-hop artists that have sampled or referenced jazz music in their music goes on forever. But we've got to admit that if we were going to make a list of jazz musicians who have celebrated hip-hop, the list is going to be much shorter. The link between hip-hop and jazz already exists. What I like about this album is that Bad Bad Not Good makes this street seem more like a two-way street, not just a one-way street. So what makes this LP jazz? What makes it hip-hop? Well, first off, these three guys, piano, bass, drums, together they just show a lot of great musicianship. There are a lot of great improvisations to enjoy on this LP, and they just play off of each other so well. You've got really intense moments like the improvised jam that I think is track 3. These guys really bring that track to some hot and heavy climaxes. And then they're just as good at creating quiet, subtle moments too, like the beginning of Fall in Love with this really moody, modal intro. That song just sounds like a beautiful, delicate, shiny ice sculpture to me. And the solos are so good at some of these points. Just so, like, fun to listen to. You know, you don't have to sit there and be like, ooh, this is jazz. I love listening to this drummer. The intro track, I could just like hear this guy all day. He's just rocking this great beat. And as far as some of the piano solos go, look at one of the final tracks on this album, SARIA'S song, where the melody he's playing on that, he is cradling it like it's a baby. He's just so gentle with the melody on that track. I love it. And the bass player is really great as well. Another moment toward the end of the album, he's playing the lead melody on the song, and I did not see that coming. Most of this LP is nothing but recreations of popular hip-hop instrumentals. And I know on paper, conceptually, that seems a little gimmicky, but The thing is, I don't see why. These dudes play with so much sincerity. They're taking songs relevant to them and reinventing them. So what's relevant to these guys? Gang Starr, Nas, Old Dirty Bastard, Joy Division, Slum Village, Flying Lotus, and the soundtrack to Legend of Zelda's Ocarina of Time. Now, I'm not trying to say this album is perfect. I do think some reinterpretations go over better than others. Their takes on Slum Village's Fall in Love, Gang Starr's Mass Appeal, and Nas's The World Is Yours, I think are the best tracks on here. The electric pianos are just glistening, the drums are hard and heavy and just pushing these fat hip-hop beats, and the bass has just got this really nice, round, obese sound. I think the only reinterpretation that I didn't like all that much was Flying Lotus's Camel, and the reason I didn't care for it all that much is because they don't jam on it, really. For the most part, they're just really recreating the song instrumentally, which is a feat in and of itself, if you've heard that Flying Lotus track. And as long as I'm complaining, I wish there was more original material on here. One of my favorite tracks is an original on this, Listeriosis. And that song just has like these escalating, tense piano chords over this boom-bap beat. It feels like just like running up an endless flight of stairs. Salmonella, Listeriosis. I get it, guys. Funny. There's kind of an experimentally electronic spot on the song Freedom/Billiam Evans, and I like that track. It's a nice break from the other songs. I would totally be interested in not only seeing these guys kind of run further down that trail, but maybe combine it with their jazzier elements a little bit more. Now, if this thing were a Christmas tree, the star on top of it would be the 10-minute Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time medley. I know some of you may be much younger than me or much older than me, and because of that you don't quite understand that in the late 90s Nintendo 64 was the shit. The Ocarina of Time was like the life of a lot of kids back then, mine too, to the point where the music of that video game is laced into my childhood so deeply I will probably never forget any of the songs. And I've heard a lot of covers, a lot of tributes, and this ranks among them as one of the best. And the reason why to me is because it works outside of the nostalgia. You don't have to have played Zelda on the N64 to love that song. Actually, I don't think you need to know any of these songs that these guys are covering to enjoy them, because the musicianship is so strong, the solos are great, the melodies are clear and emotive. These guys are having fun playing together, so for the listener, it's a fun experience to hear. I think this LP is a little all over the place, but Bad Bad Not Good to me is still in a very kind of fetal stage. All of their material isn't really coming together and flowing in this one focused direction. Still, despite the fact that this LP is a combination of older and newer material and features a lot of different ideas, it flows pretty well. So I'm excited about what I'm hearing on this LP. I'm excited about what it means for this band, what it means for jazz music, and what it means for hip-hop, and what it means for music fans too. I'm feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this LP. It's brought me many smiles. And if you want to hear this thing, it's free. Just go on the band's Bandcamp. There's a link below this video. You can download the whole thing. And once you've heard it, or if you've already heard it, let me know what you thought of it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Why? And what should I review next? Thanks for watching. And thanks to all my new subscribers for subscribing. Anthony Fantano, Bad Bad Not Good, forever.